Yeah.
This is from Justin Forbes, and the subject is 2 legitimate non-troll questions. Weird, huh? This is long, but you don't need to read a grip of them when there are people insulting and basing. Okay, this is long. God, how long is this? That's not that long. This is long, but you don't need to read a grip of them when there are all people insulting and lambasting the Great Disco Inferno. Old school MLW listener, VIP member since 2013, Day 1 K100 listener, Day 1 Patreon member from Burlington, North Carolina, right next door to Elon University in Greensboro. Okay, this stuff like this, we don't give SS. Anyways, so all that shit that he had there, we don't need all your bio. Anyway, 2 questions. Chavo was on Austin's podcast and mentioned the new promotion he and ADR are doing. He mentioned, among other things, AAA yanking Phoenix and Pentagon from their shows, as well as them landing the quote-unquote #1 network in the wrestling demographic, unquote. He also mentioned them staying away from the traditional lucha ideas, such as disrespecting and the lack of selling. How is this going over with the other promotions in the traditionalists in Mexico, and is there any heat on Chavo and ADR? You want to go into that one right now?
Well, of course, AAA yanked Phoenix and Pentagon from their show. Anybody that's on a major TV network is not going to let somebody else show up on somebody else's TV. So that any promotion is going to do that. The #1, what did he call it? The #1 wrestling network? What was it?
The TV network, I guess, is the #1 in Mexico.
The #1 network in the wrestling demographic.
Yeah. I don't think that TV station has ever had wrestling on there, and if it has, it was like small promotions. Imagen is a large network, but Televisa is way huger, and so the one we're on, TV Azteca, so that would be an incorrect statement. And no, they're not getting no heat from the traditionalists or nothing like that. I mean, right now I think they've had 2 shows, and everybody's just kind of seeing how they do. I hope they do good, you know. I want everybody to have work.
If AEW is so huge, popular, in competition to WWE, why aren't their company's social media posts cracking 1,000 likes or retweets after being posted for days? I find it strange that they can draw a sellout crowd of 10K in 50 minutes but can't get 1,000 likes in sometimes 72 hours. Do you think this is representative of the saying, quote, the minority is usually the loudest, unquote? Because they've got a very loyal base, but it's not a very big base. But the base right now is willing to travel wherever their product goes. You know, that's what they sell these things out. These people travel, but their audience needs to grow. Once they get on a weekly show on TV, that is how you're supposed to grow your audience. You're letting more of the world see it. So I'm sure the social media hits will probably increase when their television stars.
Let me ask you this just real quick, both of you guys. They're going to debut on Wednesday, October 2nd on TNT, right? WWE's doing 2s. Something like that. They just hit over 3 million finally for that reunion episode. But what do you think's realistic for that? Because people like to watch the new episode, the premiere. What do you think's a realistic number?
We talked about this on Russo's show. Mm-hmm. Meltzer's in the know, I guess. Okay, he's like, I don't know how he's obviously very tight with the manager in this company. But he said somebody on Russo's podcast, somebody said that they heard him say they were expecting between 400 and 500,000. Okay, which brings back my original theory. If that's all they're projecting, then why don't they project that audience on Monday night that leaves Raw, which is like 400 to 500,000 people every Monday night? Why would you just not go head-to-head then, if that's all you're expecting?
A side note on that is when TNA's Monday night debut back in 2010 did an average of 2.2 million.
Right.
So that's what they're thinking. A fourth or less of that for AEW would be a successful debut.
I mean, I don't know what they consider success. I don't know what their business. I don't know exactly what they want to do. I don't know how many pay-per-views are going to have each year. We really know. They just ran some shows. Is all they've done, and give it a date to start.
You'd have to actually ask the network what they consider successful, because obviously if they don't get certain numbers and they don't bring in certain revenue, they'll be off the air.